Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the final episode of Aim to be a Pokemon Master titled The Rainbow and the Pokemon Master just dropped, and this is the final episode of the Ash Ketchum era of the anime, so let's discuss. The episode begins with Ash saying goodbye to both Missy and Brock, and this one isn't like a crazy emotional goodbye, and honestly, it shouldn't be. The first time it was because it was a goodbye for us the fans as well. However now, since Ash is in Kanto and they can see each other at any time, it's just a casual goodbye as everyone heads home. Ash gets home where he's filthy. His mom makes him take a bath where, sidebar, Pikachu uses Thunderbolt while he's in the bathtub? Yikes. Anyways, afterwards he eats dinner and sleeps for the night. The next morning, Ash is supposed to go to Professor Oak, but he wakes up late, and he almost runs there with his pajamas before his mom stops him. Here, he says one of his more famous Japanese phrases that's a pun about pajamas. Anyways, as he heads out, his mom tries to hand him a new pair of shoes, but for now, it declines them as he heads to Professor Oak. We'll come back to these shoes a bit later. Over at Oak, he comes across Tracy, who finally has an actual conversation with him. For context, Tracy hasn't had a speaking role in the anime since the Advanced Generation days, so this was really surprising. Ash is here to see the Kanto starters before they're given to a brand new trainer. When he gets to Oak's lab, however, Oak tells them that Charmander's missing, so Ash goes to Oak's ranch to help find it. Eventually, Pikachu comes across it in this hole on the floor next to the bridge, where Charmander is. Ash jumps down to go grab it, but Charmander just jumps on Ash and gets out of the hole by itself. As Ash is jumping out of the hole himself, he's lent an unexpected hand by Gary. Gary congratulates Ash for winning the World Championship before asking him, now that he's a champion, how much closer is he to his goal of becoming a Pokemon Master? And that's the question that Ash tries to answer for the rest of the episode. The next day, he hangs out with his Pokemon, and we also get to see here that Tracy's Venonat has evolved into a Venomoth, which is pretty cool to see. Meanwhile, we get to see Team Rocket and Team Rocket HQ as cooks and waiters. They still aren't talking to each other, but they're also getting sick of the job of working in the kitchen. The next morning, Ash decides to go to Viridian Forest and Pikachu's walking with him when we see someone following him. That someone is Meowth. Meowth then bumps into someone else. That someone else being Jesse and James. They all realize that they want to be back together to capture Pikachu rather than work in the kitchen. Then, they attack Ash before capturing Pikachu in a net. We get this amazing looking visual for their final model. Honestly, really well done. Ash tries to bring out his other Pokemon, but he left all of his Pokemon at Professor Oak. However, there to save him after a very long time is Pidgeot. I popped when I saw Pidgeot return. It uses Wing Attack or Steel Wing, one of those moves to cut Pikachu free from the net, and then Ash's Pikachu's Thunderbolt to send Team Rocket packing. However, even though they weren't able to capture Pikachu, Team Rocket are happy to be back together. Ash sees how much Pidgeot has taken care of all the other Pidgeys and Pidgeotos and how much they've grown. He's happy to see him, and since Ash has now fulfilled the promise from way back in the days, Pidgeot joins the squad again. The next day, Ash heads to a pond before laying down near some water where Poliwags are. As he's laying down on the grass, thunderclouds come out and it begins raining. Ash and Pikachu get underneath a tree, and this is where Ash begins to answer the question that Gary asked earlier. He says that while he is a champion, he still feels like a challenger, and there are Pokemon that he's never seen, adventures he's never done, places he's never been to. The most important thing he wants to do is befriend as many Pokemon as he can, like he did with the Latios. That's what to him a Pokemon Master is. And with that, once the sky clears, Ash is happy, and he has a sense of purpose again. When we go back to the house the next day, the shoe that Ash had refused to wear all episode are now gone. He's replaced his old shoe and started heading off to his next adventure. Team Rocket always following him, the flower blooming, signifying a new beginning, and Ash and Pikachu head off to adventures that await them. That shoe was the main through line this episode. Ash was trying to figure out what he wanted to do next and what a Pokemon Master is, and until he was able to figure out that question, he kept wearing his old shoe. Once he was able to figure out what he wanted to do, he replaced the old shoe with his new shoe. The shoe is a symbolic thing also that's a reference to lyrics from the ending song Type Wild. There are a few other things from the Japanese language that won't translate here. Here are a few of them that people figured out on Twitter. Feel free to pause and read them. So that's it. This is the end of the Pokemon anime era of Ash. I have so many thoughts, and I think I'll work on a separate video just to give my thought on the entire anime as a whole. As for this episode, it was a bittersweet episode. It's the ending of Ash, and we get the answer to what a Pokemon Master is, but the entirety of Aim to be a Pokemon Master feels like it was leading to Ash catching a Latias, only for him to not do that. And while I appreciate Ash finishing his journey, it feels like there could have been so much more things that could have happened. However, I've always been someone who looks at the anime for what it is instead of what I want from the anime. And for that, this episode, while not as emotional as the ending of Journeys, completes the Pokemon anime in its nice own way. I really enjoyed it. I think you will too. The next episode is the first episode of Pokemon Horizon. That is the name of the upcoming series. We get an English subtitle trailer where we find out that Licus Pendant is what Amethio is after. It all sounds great. I just can't wait. But anyways, that is it for my review of the final episode of the Ash era of the anime. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this episode and the entire series as a whole. What do you think? You can follow me on Twitter at TheRealPDGaming, and that is it. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.